To our Northampton Community Television audience, this is Rick Haggerty with Kickin' It for Peace, Culture, and Education, airing each Sunday morning from 8 to 10 a.m., and I replay Tuesday nights at 11 p.m. And thank you to everyone at NCTV for having us on your programming, and welcome back Valley Free Radio listeners as well. And our guest this morning is Logan McFadden, and Logan has created the organization Build, Repair, and Grow. How are you today?
I'm doing great. How are you?
All right. Thanks for coming in now that you're right here in town.
Yeah, that's
right?
true.
Recently relocated to Florence.
That's right.
How does it feel to be in town?
Wonderful. A 2-minute commute this morning.
Yeah. That's fantastic. So this organization is so very exciting. And why don't you just give us a kind of an overview, how it works, what's going on, and what it's all about.
Sure. So Build, Repair, Grow is an organization that is being fiscally sponsored by Fabric of Life. Fabric of Life is located in Shelburne, Massachusetts. Build, Repair, Grow right now is piloting programs up in the farm school in Athol Orange area. And our mission is to work with young people between the ages of 10 and 14, fill in the gaps where home ec and shop have left off, and teach young people basic skills in growing and preparing food, sewing clothing, some basic carpentry skills, and also repairing a bike. So we're trying to hit food, clothing, shelter, and transportation as some key skills that are not being taught in the classroom. So we're able to fill in the gaps in after school and school days off.
That seems like such a great thing. I mean, I know certain schools, especially at the high school level, have Voc schools, where they can learn a lot of these different skills, but it's kind of either absent or lost, either in school districts or at that age.
Exactly. So we're trying to engage young people at a pretty prime age of 10 to 14, where maybe some after school programs, they're aging out of some of the younger type of after school programs. And with not being able to work yet, it's a way to teach young people that they have the skills to be able to do a lot of things on their own, and to guide them in learning those skills and being able to feel more self-sufficient.
And being a fifth grade teacher, special ed teacher, I know that our kids are very hands-on. We have what's called a genius workshop at the end of the day, where they're either building Lego kind of projects or doing watercolors or other creations, and they absolutely love it. So this is sounds like it's right up their alley.
Exactly. That's what I'm hoping. So it's the hands-on kind of exploratory aspect, also, with adult mentors there to be able to guide them and help them out, but really giving kids a lot of space and free rein to be able to create something that means something to them.
Fantastic. So you're really just kind of coming out of this program and making it operational. I mean,
yes.
Just kind of rolling it out.
Yes, it's very new.
Very exciting.
I recently completed a year at the farm school. I was an education fellow. I received a fellowship to be up at the farm school for a year in an adult learn to farm program. It was a 1-year immersive residential program. So I just graduated about 6 weeks ago from the farm school.
Congratulations.
Thank you.
Yeah.
And the farm school has been absolutely instrumental in helping me put Build, Repair, Grow on the ground. I'm piloting my program up there with them with the Chicken Coop School, which is the name of their middle school up on as part of their program. It's really helpful to be able to work with young people that I've sort of gotten to know over the course of the year. And the young people can let me know where there are bumps in the program and how I can improve, which is extremely helpful to me. So they're helping me develop a better program.
Yeah, so that sounds like it's really kind of informing where you want to go with it and how you want to,
exactly.
kind of.
Yeah. Ideally, I'd like to continue working up in the North Quabbin region and Franklin County. So right now we are a mobile program in that we don't have a brick and mortar. The program will operate out of my Jeep, and I will be going to schools, community centers, after school programs, farms, wherever the program might be invited to come teach a workshop, and eventually we'll have space.
Bowl School in Springfield.
I'd love to come down to Springfield.
That's my school. Great, fantastic. So this is wonderful. Now we did talk a little bit about the sponsorship, and you wanted to talk about who's kind of kind of supporting your organization.
Yeah,
And,
I'll go into detail about that a little bit. So
Sure.
in the nonprofit world, if a new program is coming up, they can often be fiscally sponsored by an established existing nonprofit. So since Build, Repair, Grow is new, we are being fiscally sponsored by Fabric of Life out of Shelburne, Massachusetts. And Fabric of Life has kind of, we have a very similar objective in that we are interested in empowering people with skills that are both basic life skills, but also hands-on creative skills. So Fabric of Life focuses on weaving. They just did a broom making workshop. Tonight they're going to have a fiddle fiddle playing event with a workshop up at their
Nice.
property. So I'm very fortunate to be fiscally sponsored by Fabric of Life, and I've really been able to get to where I'm at programmatically because of their help. So basically,
Wonderful.
I should add too. So with a fiscal sponsorship agreement, Build, Repair, Grow can receive tax-deductible donations from individuals and companies, and then we can also apply for grants under Fabric of Life, which is the way that we're going to be able to get kind of our feet underneath us.
Excellent,
Yeah.
excellent. So I really like, there's so many good things about this. I like the, really all of it, but carpentry.
Yeah.
I kind of learned that from my dad, and,
Cool.
I haven't done a lot of it lately, but I have on my home, kept things up and all that. But, and then, there's so many more bikes on the road now. So bike repair and maintenance. So have you done that with the kids, or is that just what you're, going forward, what you're going to be doing? Or,
definitely. Well,
with
both.
the current group? Yeah.
Yeah. So with the chicken coop school up at the farm school, we did a bike, changing a tire, changing a tube workshop last year. That went really well.
Excellent.
Changing and patching a tube, which is pretty much the first step in bike repair. If
First thing I learned.
Yeah, exactly. And if there's excitement and feelings of independence and success over changing a tube, then you can start getting into some of the more nitty-gritty details on bike repair. But feeling like kids have control over their mode of transportation, that they can look at it and be able to identify the parts, identify maybe what's wrong with it, and start to dissect it in a way that makes them feel like they've got power over this mode of transportation. That is just,
right.
They're on the road at that point.
I've got my fiance and I have a little 2-year-old boy, and I think of Curious George and the dude in the circus or whatever that fixes his bike, like he's got the mobile kind of bike repair stuff. So, and that too is, I've done some longer rides. I mean, not, just when not lately, I'm more of a runner now, but being out on a ride, where you have to literally have that kind of those tools with you and be able to do it on the fly, when you're on a 25-mile ride or something, you got to fix it and keep going.
Right.
So,
yeah.
So that can be very important. Now, what type of carpentry have you introduced the kids to, and what? Yeah.
So so far we have built birdhouses, and I'm really interested in understanding how we can scale up. So in other words, what are some basic principles of carpentry? And obviously tool safety, identifying the tools, knowing what kind of wood to use, knowing what kind of materials you need to be able to use to build what you want to build, and then thinking about it. All right, so if we're building something small, how do we scale up? Well, suddenly you're looking at math and you're looking at some of these skills that are coming into play, while also building the confidence around using the hammer and the nails and the wood. So it's both. I think for our purposes at this point, it's thinking about like tool identification, tool confidence, and then thinking about, all right, so if we were to build a shelter, like if we were to build like just an actual clubhouse, tree house, how would we scale up this birdhouse design to be able to fit a person? And so suddenly now we've got imagination coming into play and things like that, while still teaching those hands-on skills of hammering and nails, and what kind of wood to select and things
that's
like
really
that.
scaling up. I mean, I was thinking more of like a dresser or something, but a shelter.
Yeah, I'm really interested. I think
that's
that
really wonderful.
For the purposes of Build, Repair, Grow, I would like to introduce young people to these 4 areas, right? Food, clothing, shelter, and transportation.
Sure.
And then let them go. And if it becomes like furniture making, awesome. If it becomes like, I know how to build a treehouse, I really am interested in just introducing young people and getting the tools in their hands and like seeing where they go with that.
Yeah, and the whole thing about self-sustainability and caring for oneself and, having the knowledge and the tools to do it.
Yeah.
And, maybe for oneself or others.
Exactly. And I think that the others part is important too, because we're not only trying to build like confidence in the individuals, but I think that individuals form a more confident and comfortable community, right? So I'm also interested both in community resiliency and community sustainability, as well as thinking about how like wood, food, fiber from our clothing are all coming from plants. And so how are we treating our environment, and how does that come into play in the conversation? So I see Build, Repair, Grow as a hands-on tool, like this is how you do these basic skills, but with the possibility of conversations that go beyond that. So that's really interesting to me.
Great. I taught woodworking years ago when I first started teaching up on the Old North Shore in Pride's Crossing, Mass, at the Landmark School. And I still have the little bookcases that the kids built, and
cool.
They wanted to. A couple of them gave them to me, and I have them. Whether it's like a leaning thing or a square. It's and to see them go through the process of kind of getting the basics down and then refining it, and all done by hand, really. I mean,
and the pride
like
too,
I'm sure. And all the sanding and the wood blocks to keep it straight and everything. So I just want to stop and say, if you just started, tuned in, this is Rick Haggerty with Kickin' It for Peace, Culture, and Education, right here at Valley Free Radio, airing 8 to 10 a.m. on Sunday mornings, and replaying Tuesdays at 11 p.m. And I'm sitting here with Logan McFadden, the founder of Build, Repair, and Grow. So happy to have you here. And I also want to say this is WXOJ 103.3 FM Northampton, 103.3 streaming online at valleyfreeradio.org. So now the sewing part. This is something that I always resist. If I have like a button or something is ripped or whatever, I'm like, oh, no way. Like just to stop and get my little reading glasses out, and doing all that. But it's such a great feeling when it's done correctly. So can we talk about some of the Let's talk sewing.
Let's talk sewing.
Right.
So Build, Repair, Grow is going to be up in Montague in mid-November for a repair event, and we're going to be doing a little program called Sew a Patch.
Nice.
And it's a way for just an introduction to sewing machines. We'll have a few sewing machines set up. We'll also have some hand sewing stations set up, and folks are welcome to stop by and try their hand at sitting down at the sewing machine or picking up some material and a patch and learning how to sew it on. It's some basic, just like, this is how you thread a needle. These are some basics for sewing a patch on. And I think, as far as the sewing aspect of it for Build, Repair, Grow, I think you just hit the nail on the head, so to speak.
Yeah.
With, drat, my button fell off. Oh, I have a hole in this. Well, maybe you don't need to go take it to a tailor, or maybe the piece of clothing doesn't need to become trash. Maybe with just some basic skills and some confidence around those skills, like you can save your favorite t-shirt and sew a patch on it, or, sew a button on your shirt. So it's about kind of sustainability in that regard, and continuing to use clothing that's fine, that just needs a little repair. And it's also, from my perspective too, I'd really like to empower youth to be able to, make modifications or design clothing that they themselves will wear that make them feel comfortable.
Okay, fantastic. Now, we've been talking about mostly, obviously getting down to a school and doing a session there, and that would be students 10 to 14 years of age, and 25 student max, but you also do more of an ongoing thing like an after-school program, which we have after-school activities at my particular school in Springfield. So so could you talk about what the after school program might look like the ongoing as opposed to just the single? Yeah.
That's the program. That and summer program are the ones that I'm most excited about.
Awesome.
What I'm hoping that Build, Repair, Grow can do is come to an existing after school program. We bring our program in boxes, in like tote boxes, and the kids are there at their school or at their YMCA or at whatever their after school program setting is, and we're able to produce a workshop for them. And so we're bringing the materials, we're bringing the expertise, we're bringing the instructors, and we're able to do a program for them. Say every Monday afternoon, Build, Repair, Grow comes to the school and we work with the students, and we're able to do that 4 weeks in a row. So 4 Mondays in a row, we're going to be able to come, and first week maybe we do sewing, the next week we do carpentry, the next week we do food, and then we do a bike repair program. So having the continuity and being able to hit all 4 topics in the same setting with the same kids would be really a good way to teach the program, I think.
Yeah, I like that kind of ongoing where kids are learning together and building relationships with one another as they're learning and having fun doing it, and doing it outside of the classroom where it's educational and hands-on and
Exactly.
At the school, and parents know where they are, know that they're safe, and that they can just be picked
key.
up. Yeah,
exactly. In an after-school setting, you can't really take the kids off campus because the parents could come and pick them up at any time between the end of the day and whenever after school ends. So we are the field trip that comes to the school. So the school doesn't need to worry about taking the kids anywhere. Build, Repair, Grow can be the field trip that comes to the school or comes to the the YMCA or whatever. So the parents can come. If they come during the program, they can get picked up without having to say, oh gosh, where are the kids now? They're across town. So to me, that makes it easier for the school and the parents, and that's really our goal too.
Oh, yeah, absolutely. And then we're also talking about school breaks, like the February, spring break, summer break sort of routine where students bring a lunch and.
Exactly. I'm really excited about that too. Yeah, that I think will be really neat because a lot of times in minor holidays too, or teachers' institutes, parents have to work. Kids may not have school.
Yeah.
And it isn't maybe an intuitive time, like say over Christmas, New Year's, where everybody would be off at the same time. This provides programming during times that parents are at work, and we can really have a lot more time with the kids, with the young people, to be able to do projects that are a little bit more in depth. So being able to work for 4 days in a row, all day, with the young people and give them, again, that chance to be able to explore a topic that they're really inspired by and have the space to do that.
Right. And, I have older kids and I've been through this, every break you're looking for, programming,
exactly.
And meaningful things for kids to be involved in. That's so very important. And I want to tell folks that Build, Repair, Grow is at buildrepairgrow.org. And Logan McFadden is the founder of the program. And you can reach Logan that's Logan, Logan, at buildrepairgrow.org. So, and what about the phone number? Is that, stick with the, 603?
630.
Oh, I'm sorry, 630-453-7159. That's 630-453-7159. So we've got your, this website is really awesome. And now, who did that for you? Who did that website?
Tamar Russell Brown at Sitka Creations. Tamar did an amazing job.
Oh my God.
And I'd love to be able to plug Sitka Creations for all the work that they've done to help Build, Repair, Grow get out there on the web. Tamar also designed my business cards and has become a dear friend in the working partnership. And I'm so grateful for Sitka and for Tamar. So, big plug.
Now, when I was at... I see this. There's a birdhouse right there.
Yep.
Going up, right? Yeah,
that's right.
Nice. Yeah, you can see that, right? Yeah. So when I was at the STEM Middle Academy in Springfield, we had a composting. We composted the food from the cafeteria. I think was it the waste from the salad bar? That's what it was. And then the food scraps went somewhere else into a dumpster and off to a composting facility. But we had an organic garden. So we were composting, had the organic garden, and then we would kind of harvest that garden. And the thing was, kids were kind of on the way out of school when it was really started to grow. But any kids who were in for a summer program were in for a great treat. Teachers included. I loved the basil there. Was just fantastic. So fresh and so wonderful. But the kids were just so excited about it because, they planted it, they took care of it, and they harvested that garden. And, in the middle of Springfield, they're like, oh my God, there's dirt on my fingers, sort of thing. We're like, yeah, that's what you do. You get into the earth and you'll see what will come of this,
Definitely.
So just like an epiphany for so many kids, really
Absolutely.
Watershed moment, just, so I'm so excited about what you're doing.
Thank you.
This is really, really powerful. So let's see, what else? We talked about after school, and now you do this for farms as well, not just schools. You do want to talk about that?
Yeah.
We can shift gears over to
Sure,
farm
absolutely.
programs.
I got the idea that Build, Repair, Grow should operate at farms as well. I had the amazing opportunity to work at Just Roots Farm in the growing season of 2018. Just Roots is in Greenfield, and there were student groups that would contact Just Roots and want to come in and do different farm programs. And I had the privilege of being able to teach a few of those student groups at Just Roots, and I thought how neat it would be if there was a way to bring Build, Repair, Grow and some of these skills to a farm setting, so that if a student group contacted a farm and the farm didn't have, say, the bandwidth or the personnel because everybody was out harvesting to be able to teach, they could call Build, Repair, Grow, and we could come in and do a program that would suit that student group in the farm setting at the farm location, and therefore not have to take farmers out of harvest or out of the work that they're doing in the busy growing season. So I have not piloted Build, Repair, Grow at a farm yet, but I'm hoping that maybe next season that could be something that would happen all over the place in this area.
That makes such sense,
Yeah.
Where you're supplementing the teaching.
Exactly.
And
being
so the
at a setting.
productivity still remains.
Yeah. And being able to say, hey, look, it's busy here. I get it.
That is outstanding. So again, I want to alert people that they can find out more about this program, Build, Repair, Grow, at buildrepairgrow.org. And this is for school, single session, after school, full day, during breaks, half day, and go as well as getting out to farms as well. So now what is it that brought you to the North Quabbin, Greenfield area? Is that because that's where you trained? I mean, is that why you want to focus there? I mean, is that the whole idea?
Yeah, actually, I would say that the reason I'm really interested in Franklin County and where I feel kind of like my heart is at is because of my work with Just Roots. I had just moved to the area recently and was able to work as an assistant grower with them.
Where did you move from?
I was in Nashville, Tennessee for 10 months. Prior to that, I was in Chicago, and I've lived many places all over the country. I'm originally from the Chicagoland area.
Oh, okay.
But I was out in Colorado for a while. I was out in Oregon for a while. So when it came down to where I wanted to live for real, I think New England is the best. So I came up here.
That's great. Awesome.
Yeah.
That's great. Well,
but,
I'm glad you're here. And
I'm glad I'm here too.
Doing this great work.
Oh, thank you. Yeah.
Powerful stuff.
I loved working at Just Roots, and I loved being part of the CSA distribution for them up in Greenfield. And so found a connection with Franklin County, just really enjoyed being in that space. So I'm interested in piloting the program, in that county. I'm also, partial to the North Quabbin from my work at the farm school. And I had spent a year living in Athol before I began the farm school. So I've been up in Massachusetts since November of 2017. and feel a deep connection to the North Quabbin as well. So those two areas to start out with, I think it's just my personal connection to those spaces and wanting to bring the program there.
And do you want to talk about the CSA distribution for folks who might not be aware of that? Like what
sure.
that is exactly?
Yeah, when I was an assistant grower at Just Roots in 2018, I was able to bring the food that we were growing to our CSA members. And CSA is community supported agriculture. So members of the community were able to receive a distribution of food each week that they would pick up at different locations. And I was able to be in the downtown Greenfield location right next to the co-op. And so I got to know lots of our CSA members that way, and really developed a deep connection with Franklin County, I think, through the people that I met in our CSA.
Nice. Well, like I said, Hampden County has got, kids who, are especially in the Springfield schools, there's a lot of poverty, and there's a lot of crime in Springfield, a lot of drug use, and kids who are really kind of just really yearning to make connections with things that are real and life affirming when there's so much kind of unhealthy stuff kind of around them. So I'm making my plug.
I can't wait to expand.
These kids, yeah.
I would love to expand to other locations. And as soon as we just start the program and are able to just kind of know how to run more smoothly than just being a very pilot-y type of thing. I want to be in Hampden County. I want to be, in all of the places that could benefit from, just having the program.
Right. And the way I think of it is kind of like you're connecting with a school or an organization, and then connecting with, these kids, 10 to 14. I mean, it's such a wonderful, formative age, where kids are, looking for a voice, and trying to figure out like what's real and what's not real, and doing all this, again, helping self and others to self-sustain, and as you said, what was it, food, shelter, and
clothing and transportation.
Food, clothing, and transportation and shelter. Those are just so important, because frankly, a lot of the kids I've worked with in schools in Springfield are from time to time homeless. So it's incredibly stressful. And I see this as like really kind of healing stuff, and life affirming stuff.
Absolutely.
So it's a great mission you're on.
Thank you.
So again, we're speaking with Logan McFadden, founder of Build, Repair, Grow, and the website is buildrepairgrow.org, and she's reachable at logan@buildrepairgrow.org, 630-453-7159. Say, we only have a couple of minutes left. How would you like to wrap it up?
Sure.
Pressure's on.
Yeah, pressure's on. I want to thank you, Rick, for
my pleasure,
having me on today. It's been really fun to talk about this.
Awesome.
The program is brand new. I'm really excited to expand to different places in the area, and start out in places maybe that I know, and then be able to bring the program to all kinds of schools and activity programs, activity centers, and be in Springfield and, be in Hampden County. And I'm so glad that you mentioned that. And I'm happy for the connection to your school that you teach at and things like that. And I'd love to see maybe that connection come to fruition and, really be able to bring the program all over the place.
Yeah, definitely. Well, it's my pleasure to have you on. And, I know some other teachers around at other schools. I was in a suicide prevention walk in Agawam yesterday, and I met, another couple of teachers there. So I'll definitely be putting the word out.
Awesome.
And just to remind folks, this is Kicking It for Peace, Culture, and Education. I'm Rick Haggerty, and we're on Valley Free Radio, and we've been speaking with Logan McFadden at Build, Repair, Grow. So thank you to our Northampton Community Television audience, And to everybody there, Al Williams and Dave and all the great folks there, thanks for having us on the air at Northampton Community Television. And we'll sign off there. And